All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to another episode 2 of Locked In with Luke and Tyler, with special guest Danny Sullivan. Danny, welcome to the show.
Very special guest.
All right,
Welcome, Deb.
Luke, do you want to say today's sponsors before we get going?
So tonight we're sponsored by LXL Resale, hottest resale page in the South Coast. We got accessories, clothing. You know the drill, guys. So follow us on the IG at LXL Resale, all lowercase. So let's get into it. We have a very special NBA sponsored, themed episode tonight.
Let's go.
Our big basketball guy here, Danny. So let's get into it.
All right, first topic. If someone has to shoot 5 threes to save your life, who would it be? Ben Simmons, Giannis, Russell Westbrook, or Draymond Green?
That's a tough question, man. Very tough. All right, so I'm gonna actually go with Russell Westbrook. I know that's gonna sound like a surprise, seeing how bad he's shooting. He's shooting 25% this year. But if you look at his MVP season, that man shot 35%. So that's not terrible. I think he can make 5 to save my life.
Okay.
Luke.
No, I like that, Danny, but I'll have to go with Giannis. He really can do it all. Giannis is kind of changing what it means to be a big, lanky dude. So his game's getting better when it comes to shooting. So I'm going to have to go with Giannis.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with Giannis too. Giannis, I'm just going to go with the MVP. Russell's, ever since he went to Houston, it's not been going well for him. Yeah, I'm going to take the MVP any day. He's just that nasty. I can't really back him up with stats because he's not the greatest 3-point shooter, but I'm gonna have to go with the MVP.
Yeah, he does that high pick and roll with Bledsoe. He just spots up and catches it. Top of the key.
Super underrated.
No, he definitely can hit it. Yeah, he's I feel like he's he definitely, if he can develop that over the year, he can be one of the best, honestly.
Yeah, he could. He needs to develop it more. I agree.
I like it.
All right, now topic number 2, all-time Celtics lineup. Starting five.
Starting 5. All right.
All right, Danny. Here we go.
You want me to start it off? All right, here we go.
You want to start off? Go for it.
Start it off. All right. So I went Bob Cousy at the 1. I actually went Paul Pierce. I know he's a small forward. I think he can play shoot. Larry Bird, obviously, it's small forward. Kevin Garnett, a power forward, and Bill Russell at center.
Okay. I like it. That's a strong lineup right there. So for me, for the big, I'm going to go with, of course, Bill Russell. My 2 forwards, Larry Joe Bird and Paul Pierce, of course. And for shooting-wise, I know Ray Allen didn't really have, all of his career in Boston, but I'm going to have to go with, for my 2 guards, Cousy and Ray Allen. So I think when it comes to those clutch shots, Cousy also leads assists for Boston, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
So those are some playmakers right there.
I was really tempted to go with Ray Allen too, but Paul Pierce is a great wing defender too, so I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really toss-up. Can't go wrong.
T-Rez.
Yo, hold on a second. Oh my God, are you serious?
Have you not been filming?
I pressed the button, I swear.
You're good, bro.
Okay, it's working. All right, we're good. All right, so it was asking me something. So I'm gonna go with Bob Cousy and Ray Allen in the backcourt. I agree with that. He's got to take the best shooters. And then small forward, I went with Larry. I went Larry Bird and Garnett at the forwards, and then Russell at the center. They're just the best players. If I were to say a bench player, I'm gonna have to go with my guy Kemba Walker though. I know it's only been 1 year, but I really think he can be really good.
If I had to go,
6 man of the year for that team.
Reggie, whose jersey are you wearing right now?
Kemba Walker.
Let's go.
Kemba
Yeah,
Walker.
that's your man.
That's my man.
I'd have to go Tatum for my bench player, honestly.
Tatum.
I think give 2 more years. Oh, of course. If we're talking Celtics, I mean, he's just a stud.
He comes on the path for sure, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Rondo could make the list too.
True. He had a good career in Boston.
I mean, if you're
because I nudged. I'm sorry, tell me.
Nah, go ahead.
All right, so I nudged the starting lineup, so that's a 6-man for me, no doubt.
I like it. That's strong, Danny. All right, boys, you want to hop into our next topic?
All right, next topic. Last Dance episode 7 and 8. What are your thoughts?
Very, very good. Just shocked, you know, like I think like the whole world after like Michael Jordan's like dad's death, like I kind of actually like looking back on it, I think he kind of made the right decision. That might sound surprising, but like you got to honor your father in that situation.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I was watching when he fell and started crying after winning that title because of that, I got goosebumps then. Oh my god, that was crazy. Yeah, I don't know if that was the best episode, but it was.
Where like he had some issues. Right? They talked about like his gambling issue or whatever. And they're like, oh, like he was involved in his father's death, and like he's always like talked about as just like this god, and he is. But I like to show the more like human aspect of him. And then at the end of episode 7, when it was like, you know, like, were you a nice guy, Jordan? And then there was like the last like minute 30 of just like that montage. You know, that's how I play the game. That was good. He got emotional at the end. Like everybody watching, I was getting hyped. Like, oh yeah. So
this is the heart of a line. Gotta love his.
He really does. He really does, Danny.
Ultimate competitor, greatest athlete of all time ever.
For sure.
Greatest athlete?
Oh yes, sir. T-Rez.
I mean, it's really hard to compare.
T-Rez.
But I mean, if you're gonna, maybe not necessarily in an aspect of skill, but maybe in more of just straight up athleticism, I'm gonna have to go with Mike Phelps. Honestly.
Okay.
I mean, this dude's the most decorated Olympian,
athlete, you know what?
the most decorated Olympian of all time. It's Mike Phelps.
I like it.
Like, I mean, obviously,
he's definitely,
Like, obviously, you're not gonna look for for a Michael Phelps for hops, right? But like, he's the most decorated. He's the most decorated Olympian. His times are absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not just being biased because I'm a swimmer. I'm not being biased. That's even if I wasn't, I'd definitely say Michael Phelps.
They always do a good job with the documentaries, whether it's a 30 for 30 or whatever, a miniseries. They always kill it. So
how about this? If you were ever a player, who would you rather play with, LeBron or MJ? MJ. Yeah, I agree with MJ.
MJ was hard.
Although MJ was tough on these people, he punched Steve Kerr in the eye.
Yeah, but I think you got to be like that. Like you have to bring out the best.
Yeah. I don't know if you have to punch Steve Kerr in the eye, but I mean, you can be.
He wanted the smoke.
He just elbowed him. I mean, it wasn't that big.
I don't know. I think they're both extremely skilled. I think LeBron obviously is bigger, stronger, but what Jordan did for the game of basketball during his career in the 80s and 90s, he just changed everything, you know. And I think whenever they talk about LeBron, they're always going to talk about Jordan. You know what I mean? So I think you have to go with Jordan on that one.
Luke, can I expand off that a little bit?
Please, Danny, go for it.
But like, just like even like what you're saying, like just bigger than like all that. Like he brought it like not even America, just like all over the world. Like you could spend episodes. I forget what episode it was, but like the Dream Team episode.
Yeah.
So bigger than it's bigger.
For sure. He blew it up. He did. Good point, Danny.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's a really good point. All right. Do you guys want to move on to the next one? I mean, we're really good on time.
I would love to, T-Rez. I would love to.
All right. Best Jordan shoe. Okay. Okay.
All right.
How much those going for?
Look at these bad Larrys. All right. Color scheme. They're shiny. Like, I mean, even the little tag here, right? Like, it's just clean. It's a clean shoe. It goes with anything. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit colorful, but it pops. I just think it's awesome. I don't know if I would ever play into Jordan. You know,
I would never.
I would never play into Jordan in a game of basketball, but you want the drip? Look at these bad boys.
Look slim.
How about you, Danny?
Daniel.
I went to Jordan 11 Lows UNC colorway. I like those ones. They're really fire. Like the colorway, I just love. Just the, like light blue, Carolina blue. Love that color.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's a heat check. T-Rex.
I went with these Air Jordan XX1s. I honestly think those are so fresh. I honestly think they're so fresh. I mean,
like T-Riz is actually a fan of the Shaq Attacks, but
oh yeah.
Oh my
god. Hold on.
Right.
Take a look at these. Hold on.
Luke, you see that video of Flight?
Flight, he's ready. He's ready to go.
Right?
He's ready to go.
It's for June. It's coming up, dude.
How many more days till June?
It's ready, dude.
All right, boys.
5,
so
7.
Before we
8,
have Danny tell the
17.
story of how he came back from a broken collarbone, all right, I think we have to get into this. If it even happens, 2020 draft, top 5 NBA picks. So who wants to start this off? So here's my lineup right now.
Go for it.
So, number 1, I think this could be a toss-up between my number 2, but number 1, Anthony Edwards. All right, good size, can jump out of the building, can score, average 19 points as a freshman, which is really good. He's just a consistent scorer, and he does it all. So, yeah. So I think he'll go number 1. If he doesn't go number 1, gotta be Wiseman. Just a big, athletic 7-footer. The game's kind of turning more towards players like him who have the height, but also the skill set. You know what I mean? Like, we're not in the days of the, like you're a center, but you suck. Like, we're skilled big men. So he's going to be number 2, if not number 1. 3, just because of the big baller height and the fact that he did well in New Zealand, LaMelo. I think he's going to be 3. And then for 4 and 5, same thing. This could be a toss-up, but I think Obi Toppin got to go for 4. Had a great season. I know who you're going to say, Danny, but I think he's a stud. And then 5, RJ Hampton. Was super hyped up in high school. Didn't go to college. Went to, the NBL, right? Didn't
NBL?
do amazing, but he still got the hype, and I think he's going to be either just, a stud or a bust. But you got a couple in the top 5, top 10 like that every year, so we'll see. But that's my top 5.
Fair, for sure.
Danny, what do you think?
All right, so I agree with Luke. Anthony Edwards, 9 points in FBC competition. That's undoubtable. Like, you can't top that. James Wiseman, close second for sure. 7-footer, just crazy talent. I like 3rd. I actually like Obi Toppin. Luke had him at 4. I watched him play at versus URI. Insane athlete, crazy athlete. Can block any shot, and he's like 6'10". It's crazy. 4, I went with LaMelo Ball as well. I'm big baller band, big baller. And 5, I like Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony was good on a very bad North Carolina team.
Agreed.
But like he was the one bright spot really there.
Battles through that injury too, so
exactly.
He's a stud. Can jump out of the building too. So I like that's a strong top 5.
All right. I went with Anthony Edwards for number 1 pick. He didn't really play on that great of a team, but he was able to get 19 points and with 5 assists per game. 2 assists per game, 5 rebounds per game. His stats are pretty good for especially being on a bad team. He's 6'5", 225 for a shooting guard. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good size. And for number 2, I hate to say it, but I think I'm gonna go with LaMelo Ball, simply because I think he'll bring some. He'll give the Pistons more like publicity, if I may. I think if because there's already so much hype around LaMelo Ball's just the name of him, especially like with his dad and everything. So I feel like the Pistons would be that kind of team to like have those kind of personalities, just like they had with Rodman. Third I went with Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
He's I feel like he's probably the next best player on that list, and I think that just goes to show. Number 4, I went with Okongwu, the center. He's I think he's a really good player. He was able to score 16.2, 8.6 rebounds, so almost a triple, almost a double double per, almost average a double double. He's a freak. I'm going with Okongwu. Number 5, I went with Killian Hayes. He's a pretty good Killian Hayes. He's a pretty good point guard. CBS is saying that he's like the second best player at his position. 6'5", 192. He's a little light, but he seems like a pretty good long distance shooter. And
he's a kid from France, T-Rez.
Yeah, he's a kid from France. He'd be a good backup to what's his name, Trey.
Yeah, he would.
Speaking of overseas guys, there's this kid, Denny something at AVDIJA. He's from Israel. He's 6'9", 210. NBA Draft.net has him going 5. So I did some research on him. He seems like a stud.
That's tall for a small forward.
To like a raw version of Luka Doncic. So
does he play like him to same play style?
That's what they said, but they said he's raw. So I'm assuming Luka's just more skilled in trying to say.
Yeah,
They gave him a 7 for athleticism, but 7 on defense, strength, quickness, all of that. Those were lowest rating. Then highest ratings were for potential, and just passing. So he could just contribute to scoring in a game. He could just kind of like get something going. So I'll be interested to see this because I haven't really heard much about him until I looked up like who they were projecting for some of their international guys. So interesting to watch.
I mean, I don't know if like 6'9" and 215 is really like proportionate. It seems like he's kind of like
he's kind of skinny.
He's kind of skinny, yeah.
Yeah, but that's still a good size for if he's going to be able to get
growing. You can't teach athleticism. You can teach skill. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Get him in the league.
Put on some weight. Put on some weight, and he's. It seems like he'll be better if he puts on some weight. I mean, he's 215.
What team did you have him going to, Luke?
I said he was going to the Pistons. So
CBS has him going.
They have him at 5.
CBS is dropping him at 9 to the Hornets.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think Cole Anthony passes them because like there's more recognition like in this playing. Honest. And like I love the kid. Like he just goes off. He really does.
To me, he's almost got a little bit of Westbrook in him. The way he attacks the rim, he's just a fighter. He's aggressive, and I like that.
He's skinny. Like you can also just put on weight.
Yeah, especially with NBA training. Like these guys will turn into monsters. So
he really can.
Yeah. Danny, I think it's time you tell the story of how you came back from a possibly career-ending injury. I mean, it was tough. I witnessed it. It was brutal.
Yeah, because you were on the team.
Blood everywhere, bone popping out. Oh, it was graphic.
Was there actually blood everywhere?
No.
Oh, no.
It was bad, though. It was bad.
It was all right. It wasn't. So basically, you want me to just explain what happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, what was it? What month was it? January, yeah.
Right.
So, day before a game, last drill of practice, one-on-one court. I was on defense or off? Can't remember. Oh, I was on. I blocked the shot. It went going to the corner. Me and the player's gonna name nameless for
at this point because it came
from at the table. And we both got
Definitely Luke.
Jams into my shoulder and it just broke my collarbone.
Oh,
Luke, was it you?
That was alright though.
Hey,
the basketball player was going for it.
But here's the best part. With a broken collarbone, comes down the court, fade away, scores. Everyone goes crazy. Then he goes and sits down and is like, "Yeah, this is killing me." It was legendary.
Yo, that's sick. There. That's sick.
Broken collarbone comes out, fake
Like it made it
score.
work.
Everyone's like,
It probably wasn't
it
broke.
was awesome.
I just went up with the layup, and it was just that's worth it.
Worth the.
Sure. That's an and one there.
That's a hand water.
And
And 1/2.
And one
uh,
Oh my god.
Fine.
all right, boys. I think we're gonna wrap it up now. Danny, thanks for coming on the show. Everybody, thank you for
Dan.
watching.
Very grateful for this.
Thanks
Make
for
sure to
coming.
like and subscribe, boys and girls.
Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Blow up the sub. Thank you, Big Dan.
Thank you very
Dan,
much.
it's been awesome.
guys.
Luke, anything else to say before we go?
Yeah, one more time, everybody. I just want to make sure everyone knows. LXL Resale. All right, give us a follow. All right, we negotiate. We get stuff on there. Check us out, boys. All right, boys. That's it.
That'll be
Cut it
tagged.
here.
That'll be tagged in the description below. Everybody else, have a good night.